Hey there, welcome back to this week's episode of the Simply Great Relationships podcast. Today we are talking about how to make changes without motivation because that has been coming up a whole lot the past few weeks.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hearing a ton of this, as I'm sure you are, and I'm experiencing
Oh,
this,
yeah.
right? Like, it's really hard, obviously, because of the situation going on around us, to not kind of stay in this survival mode of drinking, watching TV, eating junk food, doing the things that kind of make us feel comforted, but then we also judge ourselves for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get stuck in this loop of like, oh, if only I was more motivated to do this. And
Mm-hmm.
then we go into like these stories of telling ourselves how if we were better people, we would be better people.
Yeah, for sure. Or just not feeling good. I don't feel, at least for me personally, I don't feel like I judge myself too harshly, but I just am very aware of how I feel, like physically and
hmm
emotionally. And I'm totally doing like the eating the crap and, having wine and whatever, staying up too late, watching TV.
hmm
And then the next day you just feel awful. And I'm like, ugh, why did I
hmm
do this? But then you're in the
Yeah.
same loop over and over again right now.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are describing it as Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you just can't get out of Groundhog Day. But guess what, guys? Today we're talking about how you're going to get out of Groundhog Day
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
without exerting too much effort
Yeah.
and without like needing this huge sense of intrinsic motivation and like changing your whole routine up
Mm-hmm.
dramatically.
Yeah. What do you feel like for you, Marina, is like your one thing you would like to see change? One maybe less than healthy habit that you've developed?
Well, I can tell you what's already changed. I
Mm-hmm.
started this like maybe 3, 4 weeks ago, and it's been like a game changer. And this is how I really like got on this kick because it's really been very sustainable. And I've been talking to a lot of couples about it also. So, George and I were eating like a ton of junk, like
Mm.
stuff pre-quarantine that we'd never eaten. Like I can count on one hand how many times I had pasta like in the past year pre-quarantine, and then we were like having just like pasta and desserts and chocolate and wine and all this like unhealthy stuff all the time, and I
Mm-hmm.
was feeling pretty bad. And I was just like, something's got to give, but I know this is not the time to like do a whole 30.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I knew that because usually, like when I'm feeling pretty unhealthy, that's my go-to. And
Mm-hmm.
I've benefited like immensely from it. I really love doing it, but I also know now's not the time.
Yeah.
And like I adopted this idea of like salad for breakfast. Like if we just got vegetables in and started our day off healthy,
Mm-hmm.
we can eat whatever we want the rest of the day.
Hmm.
At least we started with one healthy meal.
Yeah.
That was the deal we made with ourselves. And we've been doing it. I've been making a little salad every single breakfast, and we've been having it. And I feel like it just sets kind of like a healthier tone for the day.
Mm.
And then I don't guilt myself
Mm-hmm.
over like having junk
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I had my vegetables.
Yeah. Do you feel like it like reduces or makes you think twice before having junk later in the day?
It's not more, I think it more reduces than
Mm.
makes me reconsider.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I won't like binge on it as much.
Yeah.
I'll like just like have more of a treat
Mm-hmm.
than like a pot of pasta,
Mm.
you know?
I do. And yeah, when I hear you say pasta as junk food, it just makes me sad.
Aw,
Pasta's not junk food. Come
it's true.
on.
You know what? So let me rephrase. It's more like box mac and cheese.
Okay.
you know but I do find like so that was like a little deal we made with ourselves,
Mm.
where we coupled like what we wanted,
Mm.
a little more healthy, with not judging ourselves and like kind of not changing up the routine too much, which was like rest of the day, whatever we want.
That's great.
Right. And it like really, really helped us. And I just know I'm responsible for one healthy meal. And if more healthy meals come, great. But at least it's not like no healthy meals.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think I'm hearing that from a lot of people too. A lot of people. For us, at least for me, I won't speak for Tom, but my sleep patterns have changed like in a tremendous way since this has happened. And I mean, you know me, I would be like in bed at 10 o'clock every night. Like, done. Now I'm up to like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yep.
Which is insane for me. Like I would literally be watching TV and I'd be like, why am I awake? Why am I still awake? This is so weird. And then sleeping, like it's just bizarre. So I don't love that. I don't feel great with that. Like it just slows me down. So that's something I've started working on. Not as consciously as I would have liked. Frankly, we finished watching The Sopranos again, so then I felt like then I could let it go, the nighttime late TV watching. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm trying to, I guess one thing is like moving upstairs earlier than we would have been, like starting the nighttime routine earlier, basically, so that you can at least, if you start to get tired, to like ride that wave rather than like miss it and then you've got like a whole nother 3 hours to go before you feel tired again.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been something I've been playing with because that sleep for me is huge.
Yeah, and I'm sure it impacts just your overall feeling, the whole day. And even so, I just recently read this. So even for night owls, the ideal cutoff time in terms of physiologically to not impact your cortisol production is by midnight.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So everybody should be asleep by midnight?
I think it's like more going to bed. You can fall asleep later, but like devices off, like going into like focusing on going to sleep by midnight.
Interesting. That's good to know. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, makes a big difference. There's been a couple of days recently where I've gone to bed earlier and I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I feel so much more refreshed. And then I do tackle the day differently. Like everything matters, I feel like. Everything affects, like the next day, then I'm more energetic, then I can start work sooner, then I can, like my mood is better. Which I think is why we put pressure on ourselves sometimes to like correct all these things that we feel like aren't going the way they should be going. But then that's overwhelming too.
Yeah, and I think that like again, coupling something you do like with something you want is watch TV, start watching TV earlier and make it a goal to turn it off. Like if you've noticed every night you've been watching TV for 4 hours, but you start watching at 10 and you're watching till 2, start watching at 8, watch till midnight.
Yeah.
Right? You're not taking anything away. You're just making a little shift. You're not saying I'm going to fall asleep by 10 and be up at 4:30 in the morning on my Peloton. Like, no, that's not the goal. It's just making a little tiny shift, coupling it with something you're already doing.
Yeah, I think one of the challenges here is if you and your partner are not both interested in making the change. And it can kind of play out in different ways. And, I know for me and Tom, he was not interested in going to bed earlier. He was like, enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be elsewhere, but this is where it gets tricky because you can't make your partner do the thing that you want to do. You can have a conversation, right? You can sit down in a calm moment and be like, hey, this is something that's really important to me. Here's how I've been feeling. Here's how I want to feel. And I would really like to try this change for a week to see how it
Mhm.
goes. Like, I would love for you to do it with me. Is that something you're interested in? Blah, 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 right? Like,
Mhm.
lay it out that way and then
Mhm.
be willing to accept a yes or a no from them.
Mhm. Yes. I would say like I wouldn't even make it that big. Like I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even use the word change.
Mm.
I think that one, this is like an individual thing, but two, it's like really thinking about like, is TV time something you do together?
Mm-hmm.
Then think about how each of you would feel with playing around with the time.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't, I think that the whole goal of this is for it to feel easy.
Yeah. Yeah, because not a lot feels easy right now.
Exactly. Like the goal of this is to feel easy. If it's getting into those conversations, I'd say, and it's starting to feel not easy, I'd
Mm.
say like scan your day. What's the next thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Yeah. Like, what's one small thing that if
Exactly.
you make one small shift would be good
What
enough?
what's your salad for breakfast?
Mm. Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's again, like that's not the trap we want to fall into. So
Right.
I think for you, if it's doable for you to do without impact to your relationship and impact to Tom,
Mm-hmm.
power to you, do it on your own.
Yeah.
If it's something where you want Tom to join you, have an easy conversation.
Yeah.
And an easy conversation means you're like real open to accepting a no.
Mm-hmm.
That like a no comes pretty much at the same with the same impact as a yes.
Mm. How do we get okay with that right now?
You just gotta, right? It's low stakes.
Yeah.
It really like that's what it is. You just gotta you have to look at it as a low stakes thing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a million different things that you do in your day that you can couple with something that would make you feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
If this is not it, it can be another one. Like not all hope is lost.
Yeah. So being open to something else, being
Hmm.
flexible.
Yep, a lot of flexibility
Mm-hmm.
is a great thing right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think being clear on it's not about the activity or it's not about watching TV or not watching TV or, whatever the thing is. I'm just using my example, but it's about how you want to feel,
Hmm.
right? So, well, I want to feel close to my partner, but we could get super hyper focused on, this particular activity we have to do together. So I
Hmm.
think in the same line of being open and flexible, like how else might you feel connected?
Hmm.
Hmm, good stuff.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, hopefully you'll all start eating salad for breakfast now.
Or having wine waiting for you after doing a 20-minute workout. It's another great one.
That's a good one. I feel like I haven't done any of these really. I'm trying to think if I don't think I have. Well, Tom's see he's good. He has to eat a salad. This is his own rule. This isn't me saying he has to do it. He's like I need to eat my salad and I need to eat it before I get my dinner. Like he has to have like a pre-dinner salad to make sure that he eats it and then like give himself access to the good stuff. So pretty similar.
Yeah. So Tom's got it.
He does. Who knew?
Yeah.
He's ahead of us. All right, awesome. Well, we hope you'll pick one thing, one small change that's important to you, or I'm not supposed to say change, one small
No change.
shift.
What are you gonna couple? What thing you're already doing are you gonna couple with a thing you want to do?
Okay.
Think of it like that.
Okay. And let us know. Let us know. Send us a DM on Instagram at Simply Great Relationships. Yeah, we want to hear from you. And also, if you haven't already, we would greatly, greatly appreciate if you subscribed on iTunes and left a review because that just helps more people find us. So that'd be awesome. And we hope you're all well, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.